G'day everyone, Ballsy here, aka Nick, whichever way around you want to put it. Back here at the back of the Jeep again, and we did a little video previously on just how to lay out the back of your car and a few ideas to get you started. What we wanted to do is show how we got power to this fridge, but also I wanted to show how it works, and that way you can work out if it's going to be a solution for you. It's not a solution for everybody, as you will see, because some people will need the battery in the front of the car because they've got no space in the back. Some people will need a different solution, so not every solution I'm showing you here today is going to work for you, but it gives you some ideas, and you can banter between each other until you come up with the best way for you. So we've got our Snowmaster 56 litre fridge here, fridge freezer, and we ran a 12 volt cable. Obviously I've just unplugged it and put it over here out of the road, but we've got a Anderson plug here. This Anderson plug goes to the front battery with a big nice juicy fuse, and then we have another cable here. This other cable, I'm getting tangled up, this other cable is a ignition cable, but basically we have it plugged straight into the 12 volt accessory plug at the front that's ignition controlled, and that way when the car's key gets turned on and the car's running, it allows power to be absorbed via this Anderson plug into the system. And if the battery is full and you've got like an AGM and it's on trickle charge or a lead acid or a gel battery in this tough power box, and if it's trickle charging, it'll use the DC-DC part of the system to top it up. But if it's bulk charging, it'll come through this big Anderson plug here. So I'll undo this cable. And obviously we've unstrapped everything here, so it's easy to pull out. And there we have it. Now this box has not been turned off since before Christmas Day, and it's now a few weeks later. So we've just come back from the trip, and the log time on it, so we'll go to home on this touch screen here, and it's saying that we've disconnected the fridge and we've been driving, so it's pumped it up to 99% full, and I'll have a 100 amp hour Revolution lithium battery in the back underneath in this box. And some of us will run an AGM battery, some of us will run a lead acid, some of us will run a gel battery, and depending on the battery, this will then change its algorithm to handle that battery. So a lithium battery basically just goes bulk charge the whole way. It doesn't really get to do your trickle charge, usually because you're taking power out of it and it needs it straight away anyway. Now the basics here, we've got a home button, but what we want to do is have a look at the info on here. So battery volts currently sitting at 13.4, 13.5. Battery volts in are 0 because it's not charging at the moment. Amps in are 0 because it's not charging at the moment. Amps out, it's like 0.1 or something like that of an amp, because we're using power, having a look at it and getting it to assess itself. The stage of charge it's at, well, it's off because there's nothing hooked up to it to charge it at the moment. So we go next. We've used 544.10 amp hours, fair bit. Mains in 360.38 amp hours, because yes, we did hook it up to 240 volts while we were away in a location and charge it up. And also when we got back here, I've just basically plugged a 240 volt cable into the car and beefed it up just before, and then it's finished up on the drive over here. So we look again, and we've got solar in 0, car in 317.99 amp hours, so that's quite a bit of power in. So between the 317 and the 360 mains in, you've got a full battery again, even though we've used 544 amp hours. So we're back to a log time of 589 amp, or 589 hours, or days. I'm going to have a look at that. Anyway, so we'll go back to home, we'll go to logs. This is our last 2 hours. You can see from the drive here, it's beefed it up that last little bit, and then it's settled down and we're back to where we are now. If we look at the last 24 hours, and as you can see, we've got your 13.12 volts, and it's not much difference. So, because it was close to being charged anyway. We do have an LED on the top of it, which has been handy when you're in the back here and you didn't want to turn on the other core lighting and hook it up. The LED, you can click on it and turn it on and off, but you can also adjust it. You can click on your battery and have a look at what type it is. Lithium, new, it's a newer battery, or its condition is it new, and the capacity is still at 100 amp hours at the moment as we speak to use. So one thing with lithium batteries is you can use more power out of the battery, so it's got, you might use 80 amp hours out of the battery. Not that I suggest it. We hammered it like that while we were away to see how it would go and how it would handle it, and it seems to be handling it fine. As you can see, the condition is still good, but it's a fairly new battery, and this handled the hotter weather and the humidity a lot better than what our AGMs would have, and our lead acid and our gel batteries, mainly because we had more amp hours available to us without damaging the battery as much. And we definitely used it in that heat, having all the lighting on, having this with the freezer going, so it does use a lot of power. As I have shown you in previous videos, we've got 240 volt out, 1000 watt pure sine inverter, 2000 watt inverter. We have mains in, so 240 volt in. So as you can see, this little panel here, the white section is input, so 240 volt in, solar in, vehicle accessory, ignition controlled in, and bulk and some plug in. This bluey section over here is outputs, so 12 volt accessory output, another style of 12 volt output, and then your marine or merit style output in 12 volt, and we also have USB. You've got fan cooling on the top here. You've got your switch for the 240 volt out on. So this red section here is for the dangerous section, for the kids not to play with, so to speak, and adults that don't like playing with 240 volts while they're camping. I like playing with the 240 volts because it allows us to have a pod machine, to charge a laptop, things like that. And as you can see, it's done a fault check, it's now on. We can plug in 240 volts to that and charge up or power what we want. It is easier to understand this because they've put the red for 240 volts, and we'll turn that off. They'll put the white for the inputs, and they've got the blue here for the outputs. For everything else, it's 12 volt controlled. So I hope that explains everything. Hope that gives you some ideas. Because this has a lithium battery in it, it's actually quite light. I don't have to worry about doing my back or getting someone to help me. It's just an easy lift in and out of the car, and also it's easy to see how it works. So we're going to put this puppy back in here. We'll connect the cable to go. So as you can see, touchscreen's on. What we want to do, plug in our fridge, and we're on. Tuck the cable away, put our ammo boxes back in, fold the table up, off we go. See you next time, guys. Any questions, any crazy ideas that you guys have tried that worked really well for your setup, let us know. Obviously this Tough Power Box, Aussie product, but guess what? It's not the only thing on the market like it. This is great for what I do, and it's great for a lot of us do. It's a removable system. It has 240 volt in and out, and it's quite a substantially bigger inverter in it than a lot of them have on the market. So that suits myself and my wife. Let us know what your ideas are. and share them around, and we're happy to hear them. Thanks guys.